Alright, this is going to be a special video. Today, we pay tribute to a good friend of ours, long since departed, Flames of War. We miss you, bud.
Flames of War was a unique concept in 2002. In a market dominated by 28mm fantasy and sci-fi, Battlefront miniatures would sell 15mm historical World War II to the mass market. Many shirked the idea, but by 2006, Flames of War had gained a following. By 2008, their products could be found in most hobby stores, in nooks and crannies one would only expect to see the most popular games. From 2008 until 2013, the following grew, and some even wondered if Flames of War would rise to take its place beside the other giants in wargames at the time. Would it stand shoulder to shoulder with the immortal Warhammer 40k and the rambunctious Privateer Press games? This caused worry, as Flames of War meant there could be swastikas and little Nazis on the table. Oh no, this could not be. Well, by 2014, X-Wing had risen up to occupy that prize spot, but Flames of War was still going strong. Strong enough that Battlefront released their foray into modern wargaming with the poorly named but well-received Team Yankee. Team Yankee was released as a side game, yet everyone bought a copy or two. As a result, the people at Battlefront Miniatures said, hey, let's make Team Yankee and Flames of War the exact same game. That'll spice things up and everyone will love it. So, you do know the term Edition War. The mere announcement in summer 2016 caused outcry, and all across the frontiers of the internet, flame wars arose over the new Flames of War. In March 2017, the conversion books were released, and both Grognard and Tourney Jock gathered their deadliest arms for full-scale revolt. Soon, rebellious players lashed out with lethal reports upon the rules designers and with accusations of soulless slavery to the new 4th edition players. Defensive argument only fueled the offense, and very soon entire parking lots of tanks were riven with the heart's blood of passionate gamers and the dank fumes of burning plastic. On February 15th, 2018, Battlefront's official forums fell under the fiery assault, and with that, the corpse road was paved for the dreaded Battle of Discord, where the player base was plunged into hell. 6.1 million gamers lost their souls to repeated sick burns, endless toxic memes, and relentless fallacy brain-rending shitposting. By the fall of 2019, Flames of War no longer had a game community. The game had perished. Or did it? Can I get a calendar check, please? So yeah, Flames of War still has an operating presence in 4th edition. The Battlefront website is still up and operating, even with coronavirus kicking its ass. But we have, an operating online store, and you can buy Flames of War products in the year 2020. In fact, the plan is to go on to 2022 with this late war journey they're doing. So, yeah, say what you want to about the late war journey, but it's in progress.
Flames of War, I actually go quite a far bit back. I got this when it first came out in like 2008, and I was like, hey, this is really cool, I'll start playing it. And I kept playing it until, they made a 3rd version, and then a 4th version. And so I've been collecting the stickers that the company produces to show that you're a veteran of the previous versions of the game for 3 editions now. This is V2. I have V3 books hiding away. I'll show them shortly. And the V4 books also, they're a thing. They're kicking around. So, yeah. And the original Flames of War had some very interesting layout. It had huge text. It was laid out labyrinth-like. There's a reason you see these little... I have these things, because you got to find your way around a Flames of War book. At least back in 2nd edition. So yeah, Flames of War did put out multiple editions, a lot of which were available in small, convenient paperbacks. This is one I have. I have 2 of them, which you do not see both here, because one of them has a spiral bind. This thing is prone to falling apart. For some reason, I just have a second one hanging around. I think it's because I bought 2 of the starter sets. So I have 2 of these Flames of War paperback books for 3rd edition. And of course, when I got the veterancy sticker, I put it in my original book, because why the heck not? So there's that. And then for 4th edition, this is the rulebook. You can buy a bigger rulebook if you want to, but this is the rulebook. It's the same thing. It's actually thinner. They actually streamlined the rules, so you have to go online and look at all the details of the rules instead of having them in the book. But yeah, see, it's thinner. by a bit. And it's glossy. I guess it survives longer if it's got a gloss coating. I don't care. The flat version was cool. What can I say? It's Flames of War. This is the... I haven't used this rulebook too much because I've only played like a few games of 4th edition. A lot of people who play 4th edition Battlefront products play Team Yankee. And I've got a few small rulebooks and the original, when it first came out, rulebook for Team Yankee there.
So there have been a few changes. It's still an I go, you go system with point values, where the points have changed from 1500 to 100 points for less granularity but more simplicity. You still pick an era, early, mid, or late war, and collect and hopefully paint a force to fit your nation of choice. The force lists aren't as specific as they used to be. The old adage that Battlefront made almost every piece of kit used in the war is gone in favor of a more streamlined wargame experience. The game has gotten rather codependent on cards, following modern trends of many custom accessories instead of just having all the data in the book and all your figs in a carry case that can also hold the book. Special characters have been reduced to optional cards. Sad, considering I've always wanted a chance to fight against Patton and never got a chance to. Reserves are still there, but they have a point restriction to force the point home. There are still plenty of typos in the product. Oh well. And to be fair, well, it's Flames of War. It's a war game. Collections can still get out of hand in Flames of War. The Germans, for example, have quite a few different marks of vehicles, so most German players don't try to buy 10 of everything. I'm sure, though, some do. In Flames of War, it's actually quite possible to have just a sensible collection. It's just the stuff you like. Like with all miniature games, how much you invest is still dependent on the individual.
Well, I don't know. Did I invest too heavily into the game? Went back and I bought first edition. There's the first edition book there. An entire run of things for second edition. These are mostly the paperbacks. This was a split edition. Africa and Ostfront. That edition spread between the first edition, which I only have the Stalingrad book and the Diving Eagles for. It's just my interest. And then you have here Ostfront in Africa. You've got the first one I ever got was the Villers Bocage. People were in Normandy back then, so I got Villers Bocage. But River Heroes, this is actually a promotional copy from one, I think it's Gen Con. I'm really glad I have that. Hell's Highway. I built 2 lists out of there. Fortress Europe, that was my primary Fallschirmjäger list came from. And then, of course, they made, I loved this. Most of these books, when they were released, cost $50. I got this for $3 sitting in a corner of some shop. Metropolis Games in Idaho Falls, I love you. But anyway, yeah, quite an investment to have 2 early war books. Then again, if you don't know, early war is the best setting. You should play early war. And yeah, I got a bunch of specialist stuff too. Like here's the beautiful Tour of Duty for those who want to play games in Vietnam. It sounds really psycho, but it's actually really cool. Nachtjäger, that translates to Night Hunter, by the way. The last book they ever made for the 3rd edition European Theater was Berlin. I got that. Bonsai, the Imperial Japanese Forces. Heck yeah, I have that. I also have stuff for Team Yankee, just because Team Yankee came out. Oh, and I have 4th edition stuff. This is my 4th edition rulebook for D-Day Germans. I'm thinking of picking up the one for the British just because Cromwells are glorious, and I want to play Cromwells again. Of course, yeah. Then there's this. When they came out with 4th edition, they kind of forced you to do stuff. Like, they gave you a rule book that's like half the setting. It's like, here's just your mid-war rule book. You know, this is just for mid-war. You have a conversion book, where's my conversion book? It's in here somewhere. Well, I have the special rules and warriors here. Don't tell me I lost the conversion book. I don't think I did, but this one gave you special rules and warriors. Then there was a conversion book that told you how to convert everything you had for Flames of War to 4th edition before they actually produced the proper 4th edition book. Yeah, what can I say? It's a funny thing about Flames of War is that it used to be a very homogeneous game where if you played 1st edition, you could play 2nd edition. If you played 2nd edition, you could play 3rd edition. 4th edition changed a lot. So it's really a reset of the rules. Quite a fun stuff. I also like the fact that Battlefront Games has put a lot of investment into making accessory product. They make cards for the new version now, but here is counters for West Germany. I use them for whatever because they're pretty much, you can use them for any version of Flames of War. But yeah. Oh, and of the new stuff they come out with, this is my actual favorite, Fate of a Nation, because nothing is crazier than fighting wars in the desert between two determinedly insane factions. I shit you not. This is one of the best settings they have. But in any case, I guess it's between that and, oh look, a Team Yankee book has decided to rebel against me. But in any case, yeah. So, yeah, I have too much Flames of War. It's been with me since 2008, and this being 2020. Yeah, this game has been with me for 12 years. I guess I could say I'm a real serious player of this game. I have figs, plenty of them. I could bring out figs, but that would take this, that would take the distance of this video into Foreverville, so we're not going to go there. Good old Flames of War. We will miss you.